Hi, my name is Keri Barnum, and we are here for Free Advice Fridays, the hour every Friday where New Shelves gets online and we answer questions about writing, publishing. We have guests come in like editors and agents so that we can answer your questions and grow together as a community. It's all live. You can join us on Zoom. All you have to do is go to newshelves.com/FAF to sign up for this free webinar. Happens every Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we take questions live, or you can email them in at questions@freeadvicefridays.com. And with that, I'm going to jump into a couple of the questions we've been getting this week. All right. So the Zoom link will not change yet. When we have a new server, it will stay newshelves.com/FAF. Frank as in, well, F as in Frank. A as in Apple and F as in Frank. That will stay the same. I just set that up so it wouldn't change. All right. And Miss Wendy has a question about copyright and copyright dates. And the question has to do with when you are doing a new edition of your book and you've got a manuscript that you originally wrote, let's say in 2000. You originally wrote this manuscript in 2000, but you're doing a new edition in 2021. What copyright date do you put on? Best practice is that you're putting the copyright date for whenever that information was done. So if you're updating the interior, your new copyright date will be 2021 because it's just been changed for 2021. Now, if you are just slapping on a new cover and everything else is staying the same, you can keep the copyright for the old date. But if you've got anything changed, any new update, go with the new date. You do not need to list every copyright date. You can, but there's really no need to do that. So whatever you're most comfortable with, it will change from manuscript to manuscript and book to book. But generally, it's whatever date that you have actually started publishing in and that you've written that book for. And we also had a question this week about libraries. Are libraries open? Are they selling? Are libraries closing? And the truth is the libraries are not closing. I think that libraries are really, they pivoted. In 2020, when everything closed down, they pivoted. They started ramping up their online options. I'm seeing in my local libraries so many more Zoom options, drive-by pickup options. They are having hours where people can go in. But I think even if everything kind of closes down again, libraries have really pivoted amazingly well to where they're going to stay open. They're ramping up and getting more ebooks in their system for the overdrive system. They are finding ways to serve the community, and they're amazing at this, right? And so I think that yes, it's still a viable place to sell our books into if you have an ebook and you're not in KDP Select. So your book is not exclusive to Kindle. Make sure that you've got your book up on Draft to Digital or Ingram Spark, some way to get into Overdrive, because Overdrive is how most librarians are going to order your ebook for the Libby system. And the Libby system is how end users like us can go to the library and rent an ebook. They're still buying paperbacks. They're still definitely buying audio rights, so keep that in mind as well. And not only that, I think a lot of libraries have now taken the time to learn Zoom, to learn how to serve their community more digitally. And so they're opening up book club discussions. They're opening up kids stuff. I just saw a kids author who, it's a fiction book, but it has to do with baking with grandma. And so she actually did a event for a library where it was baking with grandma, and the library had people sign up and they had like recipe kits that they got to, the patrons could come pick up. And then they did a baking with grandma on Zoom where they made the super simple recipe. And meanwhile, they're talking about the book and things like that. This is the kind of thing, this is the kind of innovation that will see people from going stagnant to actually growing. Because guess what? Baking with grandma, that whole idea, it didn't have to stay just at the local library. It could go to California. It could go to the UK. It could go to Virginia. Anywhere. I mean, you could do that all in the same day. So having these opportunities, if you're creative enough to find ideas that can serve the libraries. Now keep this in mind when you're reaching out to libraries, you need to come with an idea on how to serve them, how to serve their patrons. Not just carry my book, but how can I serve you? And in turn, usually they stock your book, and also they introduce you to a lot of readers. So think creatively, you guys. Don't give up on libraries. Don't give out on reaching out to them. Same for bookstores, but you've got to be creative. Think of your book, find your market, and think of different things that would interest them. If you have adult fiction, what about book club discussions? Can you offer that on Zoom? If you have a nonfiction book, can you teach a class? Do you have a book about debt, and could you offer a Zoom 30 to 60-minute class to libraries? That kind of thing is great for now bookstores as well for some of it, but libraries especially like to give content, and they're searching for digital because that is what they're now able to offer, and that's what they're able to schedule out in advance and be confident that it's not going to change. So I encourage you guys, if you haven't, go think outside the box. Go think of something new, find a way to connect and offer it. And guess what? You may offer this Zoom and they may say, great, yeah, we'll do that. And 10 people show up. That's okay. It's still an opportunity. It's, 30, 60 minutes of your life. It still could get you into that library. So know that sometimes big successes come in very little packages, because you never know if that's a success and the librarian says, wow, that was the best presentation I've ever seen, and you can use that to quote for another library. You can get a bigger library system. So don't be afraid to embrace and go after what we see as little successes, because they're really building on each other and they give us things to keep on using, and that is what makes for long-term success. It was like my big push for the day. All right, let's see. All right, should you get a Pcip block for an ebook? Yes, you should. I always recommend that you get a Pcip block for both your paperback and your ebook. And so your Pcip block is actually a block of information, cataloging information for librarians that we put inside of our paperback so that librarians can easily catalog our book, which is great. However, people then look at it and go, do they really need it for my ebook also? Can I use the same one? Well, here's the thing. When you get a ebook Pcip that's specific to your ebook, the reason why it's so valuable is it gets you into the digital systems for ebooks. And so it's easier to find you, it's easier to catalog, and it shows librarians that you are ready to go professionally, that you've got everything set up. So while it may seem a little redundant, get a Pcip block for both paperback and ebook, you absolutely need it. You need to be in the system. It's not even as important that it's in your ebook file. It's more important that you're set up in the system for ebook. And we always, thank you, David. Look, everyone's so helpful. Donahue Group is who we absolutely love for this. And so I will put that up in here. I think that was just sent to, there we go. David put it up, and that is DGIINC.com. Donahue Group is who we use for our Pcip blocks. They are super duper awesome. We love them. And if you're in our Free Advice Friday group, we actually have a discount code that I can pass on to you there, so that you can get a nice little discount on your next Pcip block. So again, if you're in our Free Advice Friday Facebook group, I will post that later today. And if you're not in our Facebook group, now you need to go get into the Facebook group. Awesome. I will make sure to post that today. All right. Yeah, so we do have, Randy's asking about our upcoming library mailing, and we will be doing a library mailing coming up. Watch, if you're not on our newsletter, go to newshelves.com, sign up for our newsletter, because we will start emailing out. We always offer that to our list first. only if we either have a special mailing for a partner of ours or another group that's asked for a mailing, or we don't fill up our mailings, do we offer it outside of our list. But almost always, not only does it fill up, it actually sells out. So if you're not on the newsletter list, go get on it, newshelves.com, and you can sign up. And as far as the library mailing, it will be going out in March. You will get a landing page. So the way that it works is that we get all your book information. We make sure you're a good fit, number one. We want to make sure that your book is available where libraries purchase. We want to make sure that you're set up well, that there's no hurdles that would keep you from getting sales. Because if so, it wouldn't be right to take your money and, market you to libraries when we know they're probably not going to buy your book. So we vet you first, and if your book's a good fit, then we create a customized landing page. And this landing page is featuring just your book. You can use it for your own pitching, and we use it for our pitching as well to libraries. We send out to thousands of libraries over the course of a month. We go after our library list. This is a list of libraries that we have personally connected to. We have buyer email address and information for, and they have given us permission to send them books that we think would be a good fit for them. It goes out to our entire list. If you have a local library that you either would like us to add to our list and you have contact information, you can send it to us at info@newshelves.com. Or that's one reason why we give you the landing page, is because the landing page has all the information and you can send it to your local library. You can send it in and ask them to consider your book. So you can use it however you like. So as far as targeting, we do the libraries we have relationships with. If you have a relationship with the library and would like us to reach out, and kind of say, hey, got your information, would you like this information? We're happy to do that. But you have to have the library name, the buyer name, and the email address, because that's how we reach out. Very rarely do we actually call. It used to be a thing where everyone wanted a phone call for a sales pitch, like someone, you called them up, and if you weren't calling, you were being lazy. But the truth is that with people not being in offices all the time, and with the way that email is just so convenient, to where I can check my email at midnight, or I could check it at 5 a.m., or I could check it at noon, and it's, I can answer anytime. And those who get emails from me at 3 a.m. know that I do sometimes do this. And so it's become more and more convenient for people not only to send things that way, but to get them as well. And librarians have definitely let us know that's how they prefer to get their books pitched to them, is either personal relationship. Of course, if you go into your library all the time and you've got a book, feel free to talk to them in person. But from us, they like emails. And so that's what we stick with. Works out really well. So again, watch out for that. It's coming soon. And we'll do one mailing in the spring. We'll have another one later, but we don't have an exact date. What programs do you offer to work directly one-on-one? We do a lot of programs. So we have a couple of things. If you go to newshelves.com and you check in our store, we've been, since we've moved over our website and updated it, we've started filling out our store with our programs that you can either just download or buy. So we've got things in there like graphic templates. We've got a lot of freebies, actually. We've got like my reviewer list for professional reviewers is in there for free. You can just go download it. But we also have things like graphic packages for book graphics. We've got like a book one sheet. And as far as consulting, we do have consulting in the store. But the truth is, you guys, is that we could offer blanket packages that just say, hey, buy it, anyone can use it, it'll be great. But the truth is that most people don't need the same thing, that you guys are all uniquely at different spots in publishing or marketing. And it doesn't feel right to me to just offer a blanket package when you're probably paying for things you don't need and not getting everything you need. So what I do is I offer free 15-minute consultations if you're interested in working with us. And we get on the phone for 15 minutes and we talk about where you are with your project. We talk about what your needs are, and then we build out a custom plan. That could cover blog tours, ads, it could cover library marketing, bookstore marketing, publishing consulting. Sometimes it means that we're working with you on actual interior formatting or cover design. And sometimes it's me saying, hey, you actually got this. You're doing an amazing job and you just need these 3 connections or something like that. And so we do that. I want to make sure that when we're working with you guys and when we're working with authors, that we're offering you the best value and only giving you what you need and not selling you something you don't need. Because I think that's what makes for a great community and that's what makes for a great working relationship. So if you are looking for help and you know specifically, hey, I need ad help, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. If you're going, I don't know what I need, but I'm a mess and I need to talk to somebody, again, send me that email and we'll set up a 15-minute call so that we can dig into your book specifically. I know on Free Advice Fridays, we can answer a lot of questions and get the basics in, but we don't talk about individual books usually. So if you need that, email me, give me a call. You can also go to our website. There's a contact us form that you can use as well, since our email has all been, questionable lately. But hopefully that's, fixed up soon. All right. I love that. Linda, Guru may be taking it a little bit far, but I do love talking to you guys. All right. Okay. So Jane is saying that she has been trying to upload her book and she's putting in categories, but her categories are not being accepted. And I happen to have seen Jane's post about this earlier in a different group. So if you, when you're setting up your book, have a book and your categories are not being accepted on Ingram Spark, on KDP, and your book is either children or young adult, hear me now. You cannot have young adult or children categories and adult categories because you have to mark content that specifically is for children or not, under 18 or not. You cannot do both. So you cannot have young adult historical fiction and adult historical fiction. It will block you. It will not allow you to do that. So you have to either go with young adult and children categories or go with adult categories. If your book's kind of on the edge, think of who your audience best fits. So keep that in mind when you're doing your categories. I know we have people out there who think everyone can enjoy my book. Teens could enjoy my books. Adults would really enjoy my book. But the truth is that when you're writing a book based on the reading level, based on the content, you should be targeting one age group, whether that be all adults or you're targeting young adult, or you're targeting children. And even in children, are you targeting preschoolers, early readers, chapter book readers? It's a different group. And that's not to say we can't read outside of our age level, but it's how the powers that be set up the parameters so that there's some basics there that people use as a guideline. I love young adult. I don't love TV, but I love young adult fiction because it's easy to read. I can pick it up. I can put it down. I'd love to say I am, but I'm no longer a young adult who fits in that 13 to 18 category. Actually, I never want to be 13 again, but you can read outside, but you still have to put the parameters in place because it's the truth. Your book is made for a certain age group. That's right. 13 was just not good for me. I'll pass on that one. All right. And if you want to contact us, again, you can go to newshelves.com. We've got a contact page, or you can email us directly. Info @newshelves.com comes to me as well. So feel free to send a shout that way. Yeah. A question on how you set up HTML. So if you've ever looked at HTML, let's just talk about that first. Changing your text has become very, very popular. Whether it be on Facebook or on Facebook, or if you're on Amazon and doing a listing, it has become more and more popular to make cool text to make it stand out. And someone just asked about how I did this for a Facebook post recently. And to show you this, I will share my screen. I will let you know all my secrets. There's not very many, so we should be set. All right, so I'm gonna share this. This right here, my friends, is how I make cool text on Facebook. This works really well for ads, especially because it's a call out. So here, this is just capitalizemytitle.com. This is a free like text generator thing where you can do cool text for social media. And there are a bunch of these. If you put like text, HTML text for Facebook in Google, you'll get a bunch. I just like this one. It's easy to use. You put your text here, like free advice, Fridays are so fun. And then look, you input it here. It puts it here, and this is what it will look like on Facebook, on Twitter. And then there's these options. So bold italics, you can do a serif font, bold cursive, just plain cursive, italics. You can do small text, where it's super, super tiny. Upside down, I don't know why you'd ever need this. I feel like it's for those memes where they try to, like, you're super smart if you can read this backwards. Which, even though I know it's silly, they always make me feel a little smart. I won't lie. And then you can do small caps. So that's kind of fun. Again, this can be eye-catching for ads. Bubble letters, not recommended for the average adult. However, if you're doing something for kid stuff, it could be fun. And then there's backwards, which, again, unless you're doing something specific with that, I wouldn't recommend that you do your normal book post like that. But the reason why it's awesome is that when you do, whoops, all right, let me go to Facebook. When you do this and you are going to, whoops, look, I'm struggling so hard. No big surprise here. You can see I've been looking up puppies because I'm going to get a puppy in early April. So that's on my search list. The breeder group is, I'm stalking it just a little bit. I'm very, very excited about that. All right, so if we come to new shelves and we look at the post that I recently did, let's see. All right, well, let's read Advice Friday. Here we go. So you can see right here how I was able to do this text, and that absolutely stands out more than the average text. It's just something a little extra, grabs your eye, it's easy to do, and it's free. This is a free tool. The bold text generator is completely free. So go check it out, go try them. Dave Chesham also has one. There's a bunch of different ones. Again, that's just the one I happen to have bookmarked because it's super easy to use. Can that be used in a scheduling tool? I believe so, Tara, because what it does is it's actually like putting HTML into your text. So actually, let me, hang on. Let me share my screen one more time. So what's really interesting about this is if we do it, I can't do the backwards, it's going to drive me nuts. So then I want this text, I'm just going to hit the copy button. And if I'm doing a post, let me do one on my own in case I accidentally, there we go. All right, so it's going to take a minute. So if I do a post, I just paste it and it puts in. But look at this, if I start typing like in the middle of it, well, I can't even spell blah, blah right, but it doesn't do it. So you can't just start with it. It's not like a formatting where it starts and you can run with it. It actually changes your text. And so you have to do it for each bit of your text. And so I believe you can use it in a poster thing. A poster thing. I sound so smart today. But it may depend on what social media poster scheduler that you're using, because they are not all the same, as we know. But super cool. And again, especially for ads. Tara, I love that you're calling me out, because my coffee right here, this lovely thing, is full because I haven't drank it yet, because it's February break in my house, which means that my kids have not been in school, which means that we've already crafted, had a big breakfast, cleaned the house, did laundry, all before 10 a.m. our time, 9:45 even, and I even got dressed. So I feel like I'm winning today, but also in dire need of more coffee. But that text generator, especially for ads, it makes all the difference in a call out and getting attention. And if you have seen any type of that kind of text on social media, it makes you look. I mean, it's one of those things that it feels a little gimmicky sometimes, in the sense of like, oh, it's kind of a trend, but it makes you look. It works. It does its job. And so if you're doing ads, I highly recommend that you do that. And I also love that it allows you to put your book title in italics, so that you don't have to like capitalize it or do anything funky. So again, cool stuff right there. And HTML is the way to go. It's how we get cool Amazon descriptions when we're getting call outs and different things like that. So if you're on Amazon, why not? Let's just have a sharing day where I share my screen. Give me 1 second here. Share screen. All right. So Free Advice Fridays are so fun, but I'm not going to post this. Let's go on over here to Amazon listings. And let's take a look at an Amazon listing. Here we go. Randall. I'm going to pick on you, Randy, because it's just so much fun. All right. We see here that our friend Randy has done the smart thing. He has used HTML. Look, your #1 new release. Congratulations. So Randy has Make It a Double. This is his second poetry book. And he has used HTML to give us a headline here, to make sure that there's spacing here, to put his title in italics, to do this right here and do a call out for buying. And so the amazing thing about this is that it's easier to read. White space makes things easier to read. Call outs make things easier to read. And we do this right in KDP with HTML. He is a good sport. I'm always picking on him. But so you do this in HTML, and the difference, you guys, and you can do this with both ebook and paperback. And the difference is, let's pick on someone we don't know. We're not going to do a sponsored thing because we don't want to charge anyone money. Let's say, let's do best book ever and see what comes up. Completely random. All right. We have to pick someone who may not know this. Bum, bum, bum. The only astrology book you'll ever need. Let's go for the best SAT book. Here we go. This person actually has a little HTML. Man, everyone's too good at this. I was trying to find someone who wouldn't have that. Hang on. Like I said. Apparently the best book ever was the wrong thing to put in. I'm trying to find one that may not have it. Let's pick this one. Iggy is better than ever. Iggy may have great HTML. Iggy, once again, has great HTML. Everyone has great HTML, apparently. But if you don't, books for adults. I'm determined to find one, because what it is your text is just squished. It's just boring. It's harder to read. There's no call out. There's no bleep. There's nothing to really help the reader want to read it. And so I'm looking through here. I'm assuming that the people with 5 and 10 and 20,000 reviews probably have a marketing team that are doing HTML for them, and that's why I'm skipping them. I'm doing the wrong categories. I'm going to blame the coffee. From misery to happiness. Let's try that one. Let's see. If these are people on here, or if these are friends, I would love you all to know I did not pick on you on purpose. We blame everyone else who is giving me your book names. All right. I like that. Everyone's going, I don't know them. Let's see. Well, that didn't even show up. Let's see. Of course, you pick people with the weirdest names, you guys. Here we go. Let's try this one. Here we go. Sign and Thrive. I do not know this person. Caveat. I am picking on them, but out of love. And if this person, Bill, if you ever see Free Advice Friday and you feel like I picked on you, please send me an email and I will help you get your HTML fixed up. There, I've soothed my conscience. But what we can see here, guys, this is a whole lot of just blob. It's hard to read. And in a time where someone comes to your Facebook page and you've got about 4 to 8 seconds to keep them reading, this will not do it. They have to really be interested in the subject because it's hard to read. Where if there was some bold text, there was some spacing in here, if it was easier to read, people would be more likely to read about it, and then they'd be more likely to go on and buy it. This is why HTML is important. And yes, there are specific HTML tags that you can use on Amazon because it's Amazon and they like to be picky. They like to do this. So what do we do? How do we get these HTML tags? Well, Amazon does have a list of HTML tags that you can use. Most of them are like the carrots. So let's talk about that. We're just going to take part of Bill's information here and we're just going to borrow it. I really like, if you go to kindlepreneur.com, they have a book description generator. This makes HTML really easy. It is free, my friends. I love free tools. And so we can put in our description here. Yes, yes, yes. We want you to do it. And it will give you the option to kind of treat this like a kind of like a Word document is how it works. So let's say that we're going to make this a heading. So if we're going to make it a heading, yes, sign up for Dave's email list. It's awesome. I can make it a heading. If you make it a heading 5, it makes it smaller. You can do a heading 6. This is currently coded to standards that are generally accepted and allowed. So just know that as well. So I can make that a bold heading. Then I can say, all right, this right here, I think Sign and Thrive, and Sign and Thrive in Loan Signing Agent, That's quite the title. We are going to put this in italics. I could even make this bold. I could say, hey, I want my title to stand out. I could say, this is the best book because, number one, we love Bill. Number two, oops, except for I wouldn't number it that way. We do love Bill. Bill's a great sport. We could say, learn all the things. Again, typing. Need more coffee, must send. Things, great info. And then look, I'm gonna highlight this. I'm just gonna do some bullet list and suddenly I've got that. Or I could number the list and then I've got that. I could get really fancy and say that I want to add in the little one with the circle. I could add that in instead. I can add in afterwards, let's say, I want a bunch of stars. I want a little yield, yeah, the caution sign. I want to do this, all these options. So then finally we get our code and we're like, this is what I want my book description to look like. It's awesome. It's a hot mess, but that's my fault, not Bill's fault. We just hit generate my code. Look what they do for us. They add in code. So when I'm talking about HTML, that's all this stuff with the carets, with the H4, that's HTML code for heading 4. This is with the carets, and the carets are the little, you know, the better than or greater than, less than signs. That's bold. EM is italics. So could I go in and do this? And sometimes I do, depending on the book and what it needs. Yes, I could go in and add all of this, but it's a pain. Or I could come here and use Dave's awesome template, copy my code, drop it into my text for KDP. When you're putting your text box in, you drop this code in here and it will show up. If it all works well, it will show up beautifully. It'll show up, you know, as we've designed it. This is an amazing free tool. Absolutely awesome. I will drop this, or actually I'm going to stop my share so that I can get in here. So Kindlepreneur, free text generator. I put it in the chat box. And then I will also pull up for you guys the bold text generator that I use. And there are many more. I've even tried a couple of them. Some of them have pages and pages of options for your social media text and all of that. That got too much for me. I'll be honest. I didn't want to scroll for 2 pages to find a bold text. I wanted like 5 options. And so this is the one that I use, and that's from Capitalize My Title. These are both free. Highly recommend them. I think they're awesome. Kindlepreneur has a great blog, also a lot of great content and info. We love Dave. And use his Kindlepreneur for some of our keywords and stuff too. So absolutely awesome, highly recommended. These 2 free tools are a game changer in making sure that your text stands out. So if you haven't done that already, consider it. Go try it out. Know that unfortunately on KDP, you cannot preview text. So you can't preview text and see what it will look like with HTML until you've made it live. So make sure you check it. And if it's got problems, make sure that you just correct it. I've had to do that a time or two when HTML didn't work out perfectly because it's an auto generator, but still it's a great place to start from. And Scott, you're asking if there is a character limit. I don't know because I've never hit that. I'm sure there probably eventually is, but I have to say I've never personally hit that character limit. Let me see. Let's see. And this also, they also have like a Barnes & Noble description and a Kobo description if you have accounts directly with them, which is awesome. Yes. So there is a character limit. And that character limit for the Kindlepreneur is 3,996 characters. And let me tell you, my friends, if your book description is over 3,996 characters, it is way too long. So shorten that thing up. And so those are two of my favorite free tools. They are fun. Go try them. If you do it on Facebook, tag New Shelves or tag us in your post so we can see it. I think it's so fun. I'm easily amused, apparently. The Lisa Frank in me is coming out from when I was like 8 years old with all like the bright colors and the cool bubble letters. It's still my jam. And apparently I'm just literally letting you know all my secrets today. All right. Yes, and KDP has a 4,000 character limit for your description. But again, if you're getting there, your book description is way too long. That's when you need to go look and see if, that's when you need to go look and see how you can cut your description. And if you are really getting your point across well, are you writing clean? Are you writing to the point and getting across the point you need? And yes, well, Tara, it takes us all. And yes, Lisa Frank she was an icon. It was beautiful. And I still love cheetah print. Apparently it made a long-lasting effect on me there. Let's see. All right, you guys, we've got like, how old am I? I love it. How old is Keri? Keri has to go and count her years because I just forget. After you reach 30, I think we just go, does it really matter? How old am I? I am 34. I am 34, Tara. And I will say it loud and proud. Let's see. What is the name of my first love? You know what? We're just going to have to stop because I'm not going to tell you all about Jonathan Taylor Thomas. That would be embarrassing. All right, you guys. If you have any book questions, oh my goodness, it's like a roast Keri day. Whew, gonna make me blush. If you have any book writing or publishing questions, please drop them in the Q&A. We've got about 10 more minutes for anything that you have. Happy to answer those questions before we go on with our Friday. Just a reminder, again, our email is up. I do have an inbox full of stuff that has kind of backed up over the week as we were trying to change our server. So I'm getting through that today. I will probably be doing some emails tomorrow. So if you have sent in an email and have not heard from me, know that there's two possibilities. We're still on the old server, so we could still be having problems, or I just haven't gotten to it. But I would ask that you give me at least until tomorrow to get through to work on that. Yes, Scott is saying we'd love to hear more about next week's guest. Next week, Erica McIntyre will be on. She is an editor who is amazing. We adore Erica. Let me pull up her website for us. Erica has worked for Writer's Digest. She's worked with many of our clients here at New Shelves. We highly recommend her. I've used Erica on some of my own projects personally, and she is awesome. I've just dropped in her website, which is ericamcintyre.com, so you can go check her out. If you have questions about editing, about what makes a good story, keep in mind Erica's worked for like Writer's Digest, which is huge. I mean, this is a big deal. So if you've got questions about what doesn't make it through their, if it doesn't make it, or what they're looking for, or what kind of things are normal stumbling blocks, how to work with an editor, what you should expect to charge or an editor to charge you. If you are looking for that kind of stuff, make sure you email us in, put it in Free Advice Friday, or come with your questions next week, because Erica is a wealth of knowledge and she's so generous in sharing with us. And she did just also do a blog. If you go to newshelves.com/blog, Erica did a guest post for us that was all about how and when to work with freelancers. And it was just amazing, realistic advice, like easy advice to follow, but some things that we just don't think about as far as how to work with freelancers when we're really ready to, reach out to them and that kind of stuff. And drop that in the chat too. All right, Pat has a question about Ingram Spark. If Ingram Spark books are defective, are they returnable? Yes, Pam, if your Ingram Spark books are defective, well, two questions. Is it someone who ordered them, the end user who got it, who's saying that I got this book and it's defective? If so, they need to contact the retailer. So if they bought through Amazon or Barnes & Noble, wherever it is, they need to contact them and let them know that the book's defective. If you ordered a box of books and got them and they were defective, like your own books, contact Ingram Spark. They are returnable. They should replace them. That's not anything you should be pinged for at all. So absolutely do that. And then your next question is, does Ingram Spark take 15%? No, but Ingram does. So let's talk about that. POD math here. When you have a title, we are going to, if you're going for wholesale, so this is specific to wholesale, you upload your book to Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark is your print-on-demand provider. They're going to print your book and they do charge you printing fees. Then they are going to get your book into Ingram Wholesaler. This is one of the easiest ways for a self-published author to get their book into wholesale. Ingram Spark takes your printing fees. That's how they get paid. Ingram Wholesaler takes 15% of your, when you set a discount, they set 15% aside as their cut for selling your book to bookstores, libraries, that kind of thing. So if you're setting your discount, a trade discount is 40%, which means, I know it's confusing, but you have to set your discount at Ingram Spark at 55% because you have to add on that 15% that Ingram Wholesale will take for their cut in the process. So you set your discount at 55% at Ingram Spark. Ingram Spark charges you printing fees. Ingram Wholesale takes 15%, and then the remaining 48% goes to your the person buying the books wholesale, the bookstore, the library, that kind of thing. So that is how it works out. And then of course you get the, you know, the remaining money there as a royalty or as book payment. Let's see. I hope that was clear enough, but if you still have questions, Pam, just let me know. I'm happy to answer them. Caroline saying, I have a title stuck in review on KDP because it's published by Penguin internationally. I hold exclusive US publication rights. Any recommendations on how to speed up the process? I've submitted publishing contracts multiple times, 14 times. Caroline, I would ask the question, when you're submitting those publishing contracts, are you getting a response? Are you just sending it and not getting a response? Are you getting a response? Because that's where we need to start, is if you're getting a response, what the response is. You may end up having to send it and then follow up with a call and ask to speak to someone to find out what the holdup is. And I can see why this would happen. If Penguin, who is a huge company, if they are publishing your book internationally, they're probably going, I don't know who this person is, but we're going to double check, because what they don't want to do is they don't want to infringe on Penguin. So they're going to be a little bit careful. And so that would definitely be the questions. Yeah, if you've been talking to them daily, they're probably just doing their due diligence. They are probably taking the time to go and get it confirmed by Penguin that they indeed do not have the rights for that. So it may be just a waiting game based on the big name players, I'm afraid. Let's see. What constitutes an Amazon #1 bestseller? For example, do we need to hit #3 in all 3 categories, and when can we call ourselves one? I've heard Amazon restrict use of that term. Here is the thing. Technically, Amazon #1 bestseller, you are using Amazon's name, and that's not so much allowed. You can say #1 bestseller. You can even say #1 bestseller on Amazon. So #1 bestseller means that you've actually hit #1 in a category. And technically, you're #1 bestseller in the category, not on Amazon unless you've hit #1 for all of books or all of Kindle. But you can say you're a #1 bestseller in multiple categories or in a category for sure. And congratulations, because that's awesome. Now just keep in mind that #1 bestseller is not the same as #1 new release. New release means it's only out of new releases. #1 bestseller goes further than that. So keep that in mind as well, that new release and bestseller is different. And hitting one category, you're a #1 bestseller in that category. So you've already hit that. You don't have to hit all 3 to make it. Now, of course, if you hit #1 bestseller for all of Kindle books, that's huge. And I would definitely brag about that. All right. Is there any way to limit, let me see. Is there any way to limit the amount of time that bookstores can return books? No, I mean, when you do that and you set it up on Ingram Spark, it's either returnable or not returnable, and that's through Ingram in Ingram Spark. You can't like change it for different things, I'm afraid. Kind of a blanket return or not return. All right. Let me see. All right, I've got one more questions up here. If you're on our mailing list, you have been seeing emails about a program called Mock-Up Shots. Oops. And I had a question about it, so let me get onto that real quick. And I'll share my screen again. Why not, right? If it'll let me. My poor computer. I'm doing Zoom and then I'm making it use all these programs, everything all at once. All right, so let me share my screen one more time. Mock-Up Shots is a program that I absolutely love, again, for social media. So let's look at this. This is Mock-Up Shots. I will drop in a link for you, but Mock-Up Shots is a program that creates mock-ups of your book in photos. You can use these in blogs, in graphics. You can use it on social media. And social media posts get more attention when they have a graphic or a photo with it. We always recommend that when you're posting to social media that you consider putting a visual with it. It just gets more attention, 2.3 times more attention, to be exact. So this is Mock-Up Shots, and you click and you add a JPEG of a front cover. I have one available, so let's do this one. Let's do Penance. And so what it does is in a couple of seconds, it puts your book cover in all of these photos and all of these scenarios. We use these and then we put them into Canva to do wording and overlays, or you can use them just alone. So here we go, going through it, all of these different book placements in seconds. And you can do this for your book cover. This is a lot of social media posts. It's a lot of options. They've got Christmas, they've got most holidays, they've got Valentine's Day, they've got summer stuff. You can look at it through here. The finger people make me laugh every time. I like them. You also have 3D shots. You can do it by subject. So this is kind of cool because you can actually look by different subjects for the things. And when you want one of these pictures, you just hit the download button and you get it. It's a one-time fee to get access to Mock-Up Shots. And then after that, it's yours forever. Like there's no extra fees. You don't pay per the download or anything like that. One fee gets you access for all of it. You can do multiple books. You can do a series. So like you can do adventure, and then they like pull up all the adventure-y type things. Super cool. What do you upload to Mockup? So all you upload is your book cover, your front JPEG book cover. That's it. So you can do that. You can also get little, all right, let's take a poll. Do you say GIF or GIF? How do you pronounce it? GIF, like J-I-F-F, or GIF? G, I mean, I guess technically it's G-I-F. But GIF, GIF, however you say it, See, hard G. I think I change it every time because I'm undecided. So sometimes it's GIF, sometimes it's GIF. It just depends. But so they've got these here, and aren't these awesome? So you can put these on Instagram. You can use them on Facebook. Look, best-selling author Randy, looking at you. There are, see, GIF as in gift. I guess I'm just going to have to retrain how to say it. I think that's the proper way. But so many cool options. They had Christmas ones where it's coming out of the bag. Like, super cool options. And this one's new, video mock-ups. Now, mind you, they have continued to update this and give us new options for this. I've not paid an upgrade fee. You just get the upgrade. You get the new images. So, crime mystery video mock-up. Let's choose that one. And this is new, so I've only played with it a little bit. All right, so then we've got all these, let's see, A Book to Die For, I Dare You to Put It Down, Read Me, Looking Here for Adventure, Looking for a Mystery, Search No More. Let's choose this one. And then it'll take a couple minutes, but it renders down a video, and then you are able to watch this video, and it's up to 5 minutes. It's never taken me that long, but I guess it could take that long. And so mock-up shots, if you're on our mailing list, you've seen it because it's on sale right now. Usually it is $189, I believe. And right now, this weekend, it's $80 for all of this, no upcharges. So I will drop that in here for anyone who wants it. Like I said, I use this all the time. If you follow New Shelves and you've seen some of our graphics, you've probably seen some of those base things because it's awesome. So there we go. And if you are looking to get this, I dropped in the link right in there. And you can absolutely, we're an affiliate. I totally get a kickback if you use our link. So I appreciate if you use our link. But I recommend them because I use them, and I'll only ever recommend things that we use or that we love. And that's lifetime access, Caroline. This is not something that you have to keep paying for. You pay one time, you get it for life. Newshelves.com. Mock-up shots is if you're trying to get it, and this is after the sale, but I did do the sale link for that $80 price because it's awesome. And then look at this. Watch. And it bullet hole in there, and it's got music too. I've got my sound turned off so that when my phone rings and things, you can't hear everything. But it's so awesome, and these are all options right in there for the 80 bucks. So absolutely positively love it. And when you go here, I'll show you what it looks like on the, assuming I gave you, there we go. This is what it looks like when you go to do it. And then if you scroll down here, you'll see that special price, which is super duper awesome. So for those of you that were asking, because it's, you've probably seen the emails about it, that's why. All right. Yes, and Mockup Shots does update and increase their templates and types of templates for free. It's not something they do, it's not like monthly, but they did it for Valentine's Day. The video's new in the last couple of months, so they do update it from time to time, and there are hundreds of options in there. I believe it's like over 600 options for putting your book in there. So lots and lots of options. And then we take them and take it a step further by taking the mock-up shot, and then we put it in Canva and do a text overlay so that it's like a whole new design as well. So highly recommended. I love mock-up shots, and we use it all the time. All right, you guys, I think we got through all the questions. It's 11 o'clock, so I'm going to let you guys go. We will be back here next week, 10 a.m. Eastern. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions, if you have things for Erica, because Erica will be here next week. If you've got questions for Erica, you want an editor's opinion on something, then send us an email, questions@freeadvicefridays.com. There is an S at the end of questions in Fridays. Absolutely, positively recommend that you come, because Erica's awesome. She's just the best. And so we're excited to have her on, and we hope to see you here next week. Bye, guys.